YouTube, checking Facebook. Beautiful. Welcome everyone to Doga Yoga and our live charity class supporting Cherish Women's Cancer Foundation today. So if you don't know who Doga Yoga is, my name is Melody. Merlin is passed out on his dog bed and we raise money for dogs every time you step on the mat. So every time you step on the mat and do yoga with Doga Yoga, we allow you to move and give back. Beautiful. I'm also checking Zoom. We have a couple of people joining there as well. Okay, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Zoom. We're all here, guys. Welcome. Happy Saturday. Beautiful. We have 1 more minute until the class starts, so I'll wait for 1 more minute and then we'll get started. I hope everyone's having a beautiful Saturday morning. Hi, Kelly. Hope you're well.
Hello.
Beautiful. No, you're good. You're good. Awesome. So I'll wait for a few more people to come into Zoom. So welcome, everyone. Just to repeat, my name is Melody. Merlin is passed out on the couch. Today is a awesome live Zoom, Facebook Live, YouTube Live charity class for Cherish, Women's Gynaecological Cancer Foundation, something very close to my heart because my sister has recently had breast cancer and my best friends and even myself have had irregular tests from cervical cancer results. So very, very important that we raise more awareness about this issue. Over 6,000 women a year are diagnosed with gynecological cancer and nearly a third of them don't survive, which is massive. So it's not something that's talked about nearly enough. So enjoy today's class. And if you would like, donate via the link in the Facebook Live, in the YouTube Live, and also via the event page on Facebook as well. So there is no such thing as a too little donation. You can donate 50 cents, $1, as much as you need and can to support this cause and to enjoy this class today. Beautiful. So I am going to jump on the mat, come on down, and just get comfy. Come into a seated position, whatever feels good for you. So you might be sitting on a cushion or a block today, and I'm just going to accept someone else into the waiting room as well. Beautiful, awesome. Cool. So guys, I'm just going to close something. Joys of having 3 live platforms open at once. Awesome. Come into a seated position and get super comfy. Put a cushion under your tailbone if you like. You might be sitting on your block. You might have one leg extended. Do what you need to do to get super comfy in today's class. So I'm going to come into half lotus. I want us to turn our palms up as we put them on our knees. We can link our finger and thumb together. Melt our shoulder blades down the back. Gaze goes slightly up and just close down our eyes. Imagine the beautiful sun's rays on our face. Imagine the beautiful energy in the air around us, just taking it all in. As we start to focus on the rise and fall of our breath. Inhale, feel the belly, the ribs, the collarbones rise. And exhale, soften and release. Inhale. And exhale. Just start to bring your awareness into the present moment. And onto your mat today with that rise and fall of your breath. When we're ready, we're gently going to open our eyes if they were closed. Reach our arms wide, and I want us to turn our palms up. You can just have the palms wide. You can interlace the fingers, melt the shoulder blades down the back here, and breathe for 2 breaths. Open up the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades together and soften. Open and soften. We're going to send our left hand down onto the ground, or right hand if I mirror you. Lift your opposite hand high. Gaze towards the sky. Shoulder blades melt down the back and lean. Flow here for your breath. Lengthen and lean. Lengthen and lean. Just sink into the pose. Hold here for a moment. Find that place of challenge but nourishment of the body. And just notice what's going on. Notice how your ribs are feeling, your hips are feeling, your shoulders are feeling. Check in with the body. Now, on the next inhale, we're going to rise on up. Take our arms wide, interlace our finger and thumb. Open up the chest here, 2 breaths. Find length and soften. Reach and soften. And we're just going to take the other side. So place our left hand on the ground. If I mirror you, reach your right hand over, lean, open up the chest. Gaze goes high, shoulder blades melt down the back. Feel this beautiful opening in the side body. Feel the ribs expanding, the shoulder blades are down the back still. And just really ground down that hip so you can really feel this beautiful side body stretch. As you lengthen and soften. Lengthen and soften. Lengthen once more. Really try and stretch out that whole side body and just really settle. Sink into the pose and just get comfy. Notice what's going on. Notice what's going on to the hips. Notice what's going on in the shoulders. Just observe. And on our next inhale, rise on up. Hands wide, open up, palms high or palms to the sky. And I want to send our palms behind us, interlace our fingers at our tailbone. Send our knuckles towards the ground. Really open up the chest here. Gaze goes high. Breathe. Inhale. And exhale. Bring that beautiful energy into the body. The gaze is high. Feel that imaginary sunbeams on your face. And soften. Now you can stay here or find length and fold forward here, hinging at the hips. So take the knuckles towards the sky or over to the room in front of you. You might rock side to side or you might be still. So come here intuitively. Notice what's going on in your body. The only thing I really ask of you is just not to create lack of space in the neck. So the shoulder blades are squeezing together, but they're still going down the back. They're not making their way towards our ears. Lengthen the spine when you can. And soften. Lengthen the spine and soften. When we're ready, we're going to rise on up. Uninterlace the fingers. Sweep them forward and up. Oh, so nice. Fingertips touch. And then take the hands wide once more. Place them beside the body. Inhale, find length. Just place the fingertips into the ground here. Really push into the pinkies. Let that help you send your shoulder blades down the back. And soften. Lengthen. And soften. When we're ready, we're going to make our way over into our tabletop position. So come on over. Take your time. Knees and hips. Fingers, wrists and shoulders in alignment. Really push into the ground with all of your weight and come straight into your cat-cow. So drop your belly, open up your chest into cow. And exhale to cat. A few more at your own pace. Inhale. And exhale. Take your time, my friends. Enjoy this moment wherever you're watching us today or joining us from today, whether it's on YouTube, Facebook, from Zoom. Just really connect with your breath and really sync it with your movement. That beautiful mind-body connection, bringing our awareness fully into the present moment. When you're ready, come back to stillness. Find a length in the spine, melt the shoulder blades down back. The collarbones are really wide. We're going to push into the tops of our toes, or the bottoms of our toes, I should say. Send our hips up and come into our first downward facing dog. So find a length in the spine, send the chest towards the thighs and soften. Length and soften. The knees are as bent as you need them to be. The tailbone points towards the sky. The crown of the head's pointing towards the earth. And the shoulder blades are melting down the back. See if you can squeeze your biceps in towards your ears a little bit, getting those arms nice and straight. Breathing here. Just finding your dog today. And when we're ready, we're going to walk our dog, drop one heel. And then the other. One heel. And then the other. Take your time, move at your own pace, really waking up the hamstrings, the hips, the calves with the rise and fall of your breath. When we're ready, come back to stillness. You might be able to straighten the legs a little bit now. Press weight into that left foot. Now, option here to come down onto the knees and get this right foot to the outside of our right hand. Or if you're in downward facing dog, kick this right heel high, find your length, really reach, and step that foot through and get it to the outside of your right foot. Open ourselves up into a wide-legged lunge here. Squeeze that knee in towards your shoulder. Gazes forward, collarbones wide, and breathe. Inhale, open and smile and soften. Inhale. And exhale. Now bounce on these back toes, play here. You can take lots of little steps up, or you can step this foot up to the outside of our left hand. So fold forward, wide-legged fold forward here. The knees are bent, the tailbone is pointing towards the sky. The neck is long, and breathe. Inhale, still find a length in that spine and soften. Length in that spine and soften. I want you to shake the head yes or no. Just release any tension in the jaw, the neck, the shoulders. And when we're ready, we're going to place our hands in front of us, or that might be on a block if we can't reach the ground. Heel toe, our feet into hip distance apart. Really bend our knees, push into all four corners of the feet, roll on up vertebra by vertebra. Really tuck our tailbone under, navel towards spine. Super big arm circle, up overhead, fingertips touch. Back to heart center. 2 breaths here. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And just find that sense of stillness, that sense of self, that sense of joy in the present moment as we breathe. When we're ready, we're all going to take one big arm circle all together, up overhead, fingertips touch, a little back bend here if you like. And exhale, fold forward, hinging at the hips. Inhale, come on up, halfway lift, your version, tops of the knees or tops of the fingers. Find what feels good for you. And exhale, fold. Bend our knees, plant our hands. We're going to step our right foot back into a lunge. Open up our chest here for 2 breaths. Push this back heel away, squeeze this back kneecap. Open up the chest and breathe. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Now, instead of going through our vinyasa flow as we usually would, we're going to come onto the outside edge of this back foot. So turn it to the side, square the outside edge is the short edge of your mat. Push into your front big toe. We're going to sweep our hands forward and up. And then we're going to turn to the back of our mat, opening ourselves up into our warrior 2. Beautiful. Find your posture here. Find your center. And then we're going to start flowing. Inhale, lengthen. And sink. Beautiful. Inhale. And sink. 2 more breaths like this. Rise on up. And settle. Really get those hips low. Rise on up. And settle. Sink and hold here. Really tuck the tailbone under, melt the shoulder blades down the back, reach the fingers forward and back. Send your gaze past your front fingertips. Find a drishti, find a focus point. We'll already flip this front palm, come into our reverse warrior. Melt the shoulder blades down the back. The legs are strong and low. The gaze, shoulders, jaw are soft. Flowing with your breath here, reach. And soften. Reach. And soften. When we're ready, we're going to inhale, lengthen once more. Exhale, make our way in to our side angle pose. So front arm on that knee, reach that top hand to the back of the room, lengthen and soften. Lengthen and soften. Reach once more. Really find your side angle pose from that back foot all the way to these top fingertips and revolve this top hand towards the side. Frame this front foot and come into a lunge. So come onto those back toes, push that back heel away, open up the chest, gaze goes towards the front of the room for 2 breaths. Option to lower down this back knee. Inhale and exhale. Take in the beautiful energy and release. Come onto the outside edge of that back foot. So come on over, really get your legs strong. So push into the big toes, push into all 4 corners of the feet. Sweep the hands forward, up, and around. We're going to open up to our warrior 2 once more towards the front of the room. So knee and ankle in alignment. Make sure you can see your front big toe. Find your alignment here. Melt the shoulder blades down the back. And then we're going to flow. Length. Sink. Length. Sink. Find your strength. Find your center here. One more breath. Rise. Fall and hold here. So really ground down through all 4 corners of your feet. Find your center, find your connection to earth, and then grow tall. Find the stability there. So you might be able to bend that front knee a little bit more, open up the chest, but grow taller in the spine. You might even flip both palms here to help get the shoulder blades down the back. 2 more breaths. 1 more breath and sink. And our next inhale, we're going to come into our reverse warrior. So if you haven't got that front palm flipped, flip it and then come on up. Shoulder blades out down the back. The legs are strong and stable. These kneecaps are really squeezed on, but the shoulders are soft, the gaze is soft. Length and soften. Length and soften. Reach, really lengthen once more. Feel that stretch. Soften and release. Come into your side angle pose. You can start to keep this arm on the knee, or you can start to reach towards the ground now. Lower down your hips if you're doing that. Revolve from the navel center towards the side of the room. Your hand can stay on your hip here for stability, or reach up and over into your side angle pose. Length, melt that shoulder blade down the back still, and soften. Length. And soften. When we're ready, we're going to spiral these top fingers around, frame this front foot, come into our lunge, open up here. Oh, so nice. 2 breaths. Plant our hands, and we're going to go through our first vinyasa flow. So come back to plank or half plank. Lower the chest down, then the hips, chaturanga. Untuck the toes, press into the hand cobra. And exhale, lower. Make your way into your child's pose. Just really melt the hips towards the heel, the forehead towards the earth. Just soften. And when we're ready, we're going to rise on up, tuck our toes under, and make our way in our own time, in our own way, into our downward facing dog. Then you might like to move in your downward facing dog, or you can just be still. You might focus on lengthening the legs, sending the heels towards the earth. Really helps if you hollow out the lower belly, tuck the tailbone under a little bit and squeeze the kneecaps. Lengthen wherever we are and soften. Lengthen and soften. Now we're going to get this left foot to the outside of our left hand. Get here however you can. Option to come onto the knees or kick this left heel towards the sky. Step it through, coming into your wide-legged lunge. Squeeze that knee into the elbow. It's not flopping out to the side. Hips are stable and square. Lengthen and soften. Length and soften and smile. Bounce on these back toes. Take your time and step on up. into our wide-legged fold forward. So really bend the knees, send them out wide, crown of the head towards the earth. Oh, just such a juicy lower back release. So just really savor the sensation. You might sway here quite a bit, just getting into the moment, getting into the posture. And when we're ready, we're going to come up into a wide-legged halfway lift and fold. Heel toe, the feet into hip distance. Bend the knees generously, and I want us to really rebound energy from the feet up. Come on up, vertebra by vertebra, big arm circle up overhead, fingertips touch. Back to heart center. Find your stillness. Find that energy in the body with the rise and fall of your breath. When we're ready, we're going to take one more big arm circle up overhead, fingertips touch. Exhale, fold forward, hinging at the hips. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Now we're going to bend our knees, plant our hands, step this left foot back into our lunge. Take our time here, open up our chest, gaze forward, smile. Length, push that back heel away, squeeze that kneecap and sink. Length, always opening up the collarbones and sinking. Come to the outside edge of that back foot, heel to arch alignment, hands forward and back, open up to the back of the mat, warrior two. Take your time here and then flow length and sink. Length and sink. Two more breaths here, reach and soften. One more and hold. Find your warrior. Ground down through all four corners of the feet. I really want us to make sure we can see our big toe, that knee is tracking out. Sink the hips a little deeper. Push into the outside edge of that back foot. Melt the shoulder blades down the back and find that gaze past your front fingertips and breathe. What is your intention today? What are you focusing on? Where we send our intention, where we send our gaze, that is where we follow. We focus on the negative, that is what we bring. If we focus on the positive, or we focus on the growth, the building, that is what we bring. Now when we're ready, flip that front palm, come into our reverse warrior, really soften and sink here. Length, get those hips a little bit lower. Length and sink. When we're ready, we're going to make our way into our side angle pose. Take our time, hand on that knee or beside that foot. Revolve from the navel center. So hand can be on the hip here, just sinking the hips down, finding that length from the foot to the hip, hip to the shoulder. And then when you're comfortable with that, lengthen the arm, the shoulder blade melts down the back, continuing your side angle pose. Reach long and soften. Reach long and soften. Spiral this top hand down, frame our front foot. Come into our lunge for 2 breaths. You can come onto that knee if you need. Open and sink. Open and sink. When we're ready, come onto the outside edge of that back foot. You know what we're doing now. Sweep the hands up and open ourselves up towards the front of the mat into our warrior two. Find your stability, find your center, and then flow length and soften. Length and soften. 2 more breaths here. Flowing nice and consideredly. 1 more. Sink and hold. Find your connection to the earth with all 4 corners of the feet. Grow tall. And send your gaze past your front fingertips. What are you focusing on? What is your intention for the day? When we're ready, we're going to flip that front palm, come into our reverse warrior. Oh, it just feels better the more we do it. My upper spine is just like really opening up now. My shoulder blades are really melting down the back. Tell me how this feels for you after class. When you're ready, make your way into your side angle pose, whatever variation suits you. So take your time, really come into here consideredly. So really take your time, nourish your body, put the hand on that hip first, and then slide it up. And we're always revolving towards the sky. Instead of our gaze going down, our body collapsing in on itself towards the earth, we're always revolving towards the roof. When we're ready, spiral this top hand down, frame this front foot, and we are going to go through a flow once more, or you can just skip it. Plant the hands, come into plank. Lower down, chaturanga. Come up into cobra or even upward facing dog if that feels good for you. Plant the knees down, gently come into our child's pose. Forehead towards the earth for a moment. Beautiful release. If we rise on up, tuck the toes, press into the hands, and come into our downward facing dog. Inhale, find length and soften. Inhale, find length and soften. Length once more. And exhale, come down onto the knees. I want us to walk our hands forward, open up our chest here. Forehead comes towards the earth or onto a cushion, into our melting heart pose. We're squeezing the biceps towards the ears, but also melting the shoulder blades down the back. So find a bit of ease here, length, and soften, length, and just surrender. Few more breaths, just allowing our body to get into a deeper space because we've cultivated a little bit of heat. And just finding a beautiful resting moment of surrender in amongst all the movement today. When you're ready, lift the forehead, walk your hands back in, come back into your downward facing dog. So good. Bend your knees, look towards our hands, pull back. Now I want you to step, jump, walk, come to the top of the mat however you can. And into your forward fold. Really savor the sensation, crown of the head towards the earth. Straight or bent knees, find what works for you. Inhale, come on up, halfway lift, your version, tops of the fingers, tops of the knees. And exhale, fold. Bend the knees, press into the feet, roll on up. Super big arm circle, up overhead, fingertips touch. And back to heart center. 2 breaths here. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. We're going to take one more big inhale, up overhead, arm circle, up overhead, fingertips touch. Next, I'll send our hands wide, place them on our hips. We're going to come into a balancing pose here. So I'm just going to turn towards you so you can see me. Press into you, or mirror you, press into your right foot, lift your left knee, and hold here. Now you might just be on these toes, or hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can wrap your hands around this knee if that's a little easier. And if you'd like to go on, we're going to get our left fingers, wrap it around our left toes, and just hold here, balance. You might place that hand on the knee for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now it's all an experiment and a play. Start to gently lengthen that leg if you can, turning it out to the side of the room using your opposite arm as a counterbalance. Nice straight spine, lean back a little. It'll help you from collapsing. And hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring that foot back to center. We're going to lower it down gently, but I don't want this foot to go on the earth. So just release your big toe. An optional extra here, we're going to bend our right knee, I'm mirroring you, cross your left leg over it, and wrap our foot around our calf. Or you can just have these toes at the ground, or you could just be here. Seriously, make it your own posture. So come around. Now I want you to sink the hips down, and I don't want there to be lack of integrity in the hips, like we're sticking one glute out like this. I'm just kind of demonstrating. So put one hand on your lower belly, one hand on your lower back, and feel the pelvis tilt. Feel the glutes activate and feel the hips really square off so they're even rather than being not symmetrical. So breathe here, find your length, find your strength. And if you'd like, open up the arms, link the fingers and finger and thumb together into a mudra and just find your strength. That glute will be working. You might be shaking, feeling a little bit of prana. It's all play. When you're ready, lengthen. Unravel and plant that foot down. So nice. Come into your mount pose, palms forward, shoulder blades down the back. Close down the eyes, ground down and grow tall through all part of your body. Inhale and soften. Inhale and soften. Now when we're ready, we're going to place weight into our left foot. Come onto those toes or lift that knee up. Just have the hands wherever you want. You can just have them on the hips for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wrap your arms, or hands I should say, around that knee. Just find your comfy space here. This might be more than enough for you for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now get these fingers, talking too much, not balancing, wrap them around your toes. Use this other arm as a counterbalance if you need, or have it on the hip. So just find your alignment here. Find that same strength in the spine. We're not leaning forward or collapsing. We're actually leaning back to find that straightness and strength for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then play with extending. See how you go. You might have a super bent knee. You might be able to straighten it. Shoulder blades are down the back. Spine is long. This glute is active. So good. You want to already bring it back in. With control, release. We're going to bend this left knee, cross the right leg over, wrap it around. Now hand can be on the belly and lower back to really find that alignment, find integrity in the hips, find the glutes firing. And if you're ready, send the arms wide, find your mudra. Oh, baby. And sink. So good. When you're ready, gently unravel and come on down. Find your mountain pose. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. We'll take one more big, beautiful arm circle up overhead. Fingertips touch, a little back bend here. And exhale, fold forward, super slow and luxuriously, hinging at the hips. Inhale, come on up, halfway lift. And exhale, fold, crown of the head towards the earth. Bend your knees, plant your hands. We're going to step back into a plank. So come on back and plank or half plank, whatever variation suits you. We're going to hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then come onto the forearms. We're going to lower down onto the forearms so the elbows are underneath our shoulders and come into a forearm plank for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the hips down, untuck the toes and come into your Sphinx. So open up the collarbones here, gaze as high. Imagine those sunbeams on your face. And just really savor the sensation here. Notice the differences side to side. We're still putting weight into our toes, into our hips, and that'll enable us or give us support to open up in the mid-back and the shoulder blades. When we're ready, lengthen a little bit more. Send your gaze over your right shoulder towards your right toes. Super yummy, super nice. When you're ready, come back to center. Find length and your gaze over that left shoulder. Come back to center. We're just going to lower ourselves down onto the ground. Just relax here for a moment. Depends how comfy your mat is. Just find a comfy space. We're going to lift up. We're going to walk our left fingers over underneath our right arm to the right. So instead of revolving our chest here, we're keeping our shoulders square. And we're going to lay onto this arm, just getting into a beautiful side arm stretch. So this right arm can just go out into the front of us. Our forehead can just come, our chin can rest onto our bicep. We might send it past our bicep, resting our forehead on the earth. Just find what works for you. Just, this is very personal because it is such a tender area. So really just find what modifications really work for you to feel that nourishing stretch, but make sure it's not too full on. Beautiful big breaths. Breathing into that space, feeling that length. Alrighty, when I walk those right fingers in, just super gently press on up. Bring those left fingers back. Oh, feel that release. And slide these right hands over towards the left. So lay on down onto that arm. So it's kind of going just in front of our chest, just below our collarbones. And send that left hand forward And that forehead comes onto the earth. I'm just going to be careful of the mic here so you guys can still hear me. Awesome. And you savor that sensation. Notice the differences side to side. Let me know how tight you are in your shoulder blades today. Nice deep breaths. Just really savoring the sensation. Clip my mic back on. And then we'll come on up, push in, walk that left hand in, come on up. Come in to a cobra pose, but the hands are slightly forward. Just come on up, really savor that sensation. You'll feel that opening in the lower back more so than the shoulder blades because of this. And then just once more release into the mat. Press our hands underneath our shoulders. Come back into our child's pose once more. Hips towards heels, forehead towards the earth. Just really savor the release. And we're ready, we're going to lift our forehead, come up into tabletop position, walk our knees into hip distance. I want us, if we need to pad our knees here, please do so. Fold over your mat because we're going to be putting weight into our knees and tops of the toes. So walk our hands towards our knees, really tuck our tailbone under, core is on, and roll on up here. You might place that hand on the lower back, hand on the lower back, belly and back, there we go, to find that real activation and alignment. Just take your time here. When you're ready, beautiful big arm circle up overhead, fingertips touch. Exhale wide, and we're coming into our camel pose. So option one, just gentle massage on this fleshy part on the lower back. So just where our glutes meet our lower back, just being super gentle here, massaging with the heel of our hand one side or the other, or face our fingers up, place that heel of the hand into that fleshy part, and the hips forward, the chest back, neck is long still into our full camel pose. You can even reach towards the backs of the feet. Oh, so nice. Didn't like this pose for so long. Never thought I would be able to do it, but it is actually my favorite at the moment. It is. You grow to love it as your body opens up and heals. So just flow here with the breath. And already I want us to be super gentle as we come out. So just lift one hand up and then the other. Core is on, rise on up. Cross the ankles over, and we're just going to roll on over onto our buttocks. Press into the heels. We're going to come into a boat pose. So press into the heels. Feet are flexed. Hands just come beside the hips, slightly behind. Shoulder blades melt down the back. So this is option one, just finding that length in the spine and finding activation in the deep core muscles here. Or you can zip tie the legs together, zip tie the ankles together, and start to balance on your sacrum and come up into your boat. Lengthen, soften. Lengthen, soften. You can take your hands off the ground, grab the thighs, or even just send them wide. Find your variation. Breathe, smile, don't hold our breath here. Feel that shake, feel that prana. And we'll already lower those heels down. We're going to cross our legs. So just bring one in and then the other, and just find a beautiful cross-legged position here. Hands on our knees. You can turn the palms off if you like, just for 2 breaths. Length and soften. Length and soften. Super easy. We're going to place this left hand on our right knee coming into a twist. So place it here. So this right hand behind us. Lengthen, revolve. Length and revolve. 2 more. Length and revolve. Length and revolve. Oh baby, you're so passed out. Come back to center. Place this right hand on the left knee, left hand behind us. Find length and revolve. Just getting beautiful, gentle spinal twist here today. Length and revolve. Flowing with the breath. Come back to center. So nice. And now uncross our legs. Just place one foot and then the other on the ground. Just get yourself into the middle of your mat. Press into those big toes and roll on down super gently, vertebra by vertebra. until our spine is fully connected with the earth. Palms facing up. Really notice the sensations here. When we're ready, we're going to lift this right foot, place it on our left knee, and just come into our half pigeon pose. So you might just be here guiding this right knee out, keeping the lower back connected to the earth. This is a beautiful hip opening. If you feel like you are able and your body is ready to go deeper, the next option is to bring this left knee in towards the chest. Both feet are flexed. Hands come to wrap around the back of that thigh. And just gently bring that knee continually in towards your chest with the rise and fall of your breath. Now, trick here is to keep the spine on the ground. We're not rounding, lifting this tailbone up or the neck up. The spine is a beautiful straight line connecting to the earth. So fill up that hip with energy and light and space, and exhale, soften. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And release. Release the hands from the thighs, send the arms wide, and continue to cross this right knee over the left. You can interlace the foot on the calf here, just find what feels good. Now we're just going to send the knees towards the left and the gaze towards the right. A gentle spinal twist here. Instead of coming from the neck, we're coming from the tailbone up. So find length, keep this right shoulder grounded and soften. Length and soften. Oh, that feels so yummy in my ribs. Let me know when that feels good, where that feels good for you. When we're ready, core is on. You might even press into the hands really gently. Come on back to center. Unravel the legs and place both feet back onto the ground. Tuck that tailbone under. Really feel the lower back connect with the earth. Feel it really be protected. And breathe. When we're ready, lift that left foot up, cross it over the right knee. Now open this knee up, flex the foot, find what feels good. And when we're ready, if you would like to go on, bring that right foot, or that right knee, I should say, in towards the chest. Hands come towards the back of the thigh. Spine is long and soften. Spine is long and soften. 2 more deep breaths here, really just letting go. And when you're ready, we're going to release, cross this left foot or this left knee further over. So we're kind of crossing our legs in midair, wrapping that foot around the thigh, only if you can get it there. Arms go out wide, press into the ground. Gaze goes towards the left. Knees go towards the right. Beautiful spinal twist here. Length and soften. Length and just let it go. When you're ready, come back to center. Core is on. Nice. Unravel. Send both legs high. Point and flex the toes. Having the arms wide still as support really, really helps. Roll the ankles one way and then the other. Just practice straightening. Just play. See if you can get any deeper stretches in the hamstrings and the calves. Just have a bit of fun. Ooh, take circles one way and then the other. When we're ready, bring the knees in towards the chest, but wide. So we're coming into happy baby. So come into, knees into the armpits, actually. Really, I should just say that. Feet are flexed. Send them towards the sky. Grab the outside edges of the feet. And, oh, so nice. Just rock and revolve and take your time here, really massaging out the spine after the beautiful work you've done today. Lengthen one leg and then the other. One. And then the other. Just really move at your own pace. Hello, Owls. How are you, Baba? Good boy. Hello, sweetheart. When you're ready, release those feet. Bring the knees together. Just give them a big hug. And send the legs long to release. So one leg long, and then the other. Palms facing up. Shoulder blades down the back, and just let any tension go. Inhale, fill the belly, the ribs, the collarbones, and just release. Start to bring your awareness completely into yourself, completely into the present, into that rise and fall. Just observe, find joy in this moment. Joy for the air on your skin, the energy we've created in our body today, the strength. Find joy in the rise and fall of our breath. When you're ready, gently send your arms up overhead. Reach. Take your time here and just settle here for a moment. Just lengthening out your body, creating as much space as we can. And already roll over onto a side that suits you. And come on up into a cross-legged position. Place our hands on our knees. We'll finish the way we started with our palms facing up, fingers into a mudra, closing down our eyes, sending our gaze towards the sky, imagining the sunbeams on our face. Taking a few deep breaths here. When ready, we'll take one big arm circle all together, up, overhead, fingertips touch. And back to heart center. Thank you so much for stepping on the mat with me today to support Cherish, an amazing organization, as I said at the start, that is very, very close to my heart. So if you are on YouTube, there is a donation link in the YouTube live description. I will go put it in the comments there as well. If you are on Facebook live, it is in the comments before you actually watch the video, and I'll put this in the event page as well, the donation link. It can be $1, it can be as much as you like, but Cherish do amazing work to raise awareness and research for gynecological cancer. So please share your support today. And if you've enjoyed this class, come join us on the mat. You can join Doga Yoga for 30 days for $1. So come practice with myself, Merlin, who's been very tired today, on the mat. Thanks, everyone. Bye.